At the beginning, we see a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean on which some people are present. It is clear from their faces that they have not eaten or drunk anything for many days, but there is a fear of something else happening. After all, what is that thing? Let's find out. In the flashback, the time is 1982, and the place is Maryland. A man named John, who has a sailing boat, has come to go sailing with his girlfriend, Meg. During that time, a man named Mark approaches him and says, "Can I also go with you people for sailing? It has always been my dream." Meg convinces John to take Mark along, and after this, John agrees. After this, all three of them leave. That night, we see two more people who are already on the boat. Their names are Brad and Debulina. Everyone is having dinner. They decide that while coming back, they will take the boat through Spotline Port. Brad says, "My girlfriend is there. I want to bring her along too." But John refuses, saying there are Somalian ships on that side which could catch them, and they may have to face big waves there. So he will not go there. Now they fight because of this, but Debulina starts laughing because Brad cannot live without his girlfriend even for a second. After dinner, Mark goes to the upper part of the boat and stand there for some time. After some time, he feels strong winds. Then he looks at the wind meter above the boat, which is moving fast, and he understands that a big storm is definitely going to come. On the other side, we see the Coast Guard, who had started getting reports that a big storm was heading towards them. However, John and his team still did not know about this. It becomes dark, and gradually the rain also increases its speed. John comes down and asks Brad to stay conscious so that if any warning comes on the radio, he can inform him. However, Brad is so drunk that he does not understand anything. As a result, John goes up, where other members of his team are trying to handle the boat somehow because it is moving very fast due to the storm's wind. Meanwhile, the Coast Guard starts warning all the boats and ships present in the area, but when this warning comes on their radio, Mark is sleeping, so he does not hear it. Suddenly, something hits the boat. This causes everything under the boat to start breaking. John comes down and, first of all, asks for help for his people on the radio. Meg follows him down, but then her leg gets cut by the oven gate and she gets badly injured. Seeing this, John immediately bandages her wound. The head of the Coast Guard, who knows John, comes on the radio. After hearing John's voice, he asks him to share his location and situation. John explains, but the guard tells him that he will have to wait for at least 3 hours before any common ships can pass through the area to help. John says, "We cannot survive for so long." The guard replies, "Okay, wait. I will do something." After this, John goes back on deck and tries to handle the boat. However, a huge wave comes, dwarfing their boat. In a short time, the boat is completely submerged. Next, we see that John's whole team is in the water and the boat is broken. Everyone is encouraging each other to stay alive. Suddenly, a small raft boat starts coming toward them. Seeing it, everyone swims to catch it. They find some relief in this small boat. The Coast Guard continues trying to contact them because they had sent one of their helicopters to the location given by John. However, since the boat has sunk, they fear the worst. The Coast Guard assumes that the group might not have survived, though they are unaware that everyone is still alive. Morning arrives, and everyone is still on the same raft boat. However, blood from the injury on Meg's foot is flowing into the sea, and she is experiencing more pain due to the salty water. Mark suggests, "Why don't we make Meg sit on this lifeboat so she can get some rest?" But John refuses, saying, "The air is very cold. She will feel more pain because of the cold wind, so let her stay in the water," John says, trying to encourage Meg. Meanwhile, Debulina asks Brad, "Why are you kicking me?" But he says, "No, I haven't done anything like that." When she goes down and looks, she sees many sharks roaming around, drawn by the smell of Meg's blood. Seeing this, everyone starts climbing onto the boat in a hurry, but in their panic, the boat overturns. To straighten it, someone would have to go down, but before anything can happen, Brad, terrified, climbs upside down on the boat. Everyone tries to bring him down because, in this position, the boat cannot be straightened. Somehow, they manage to lay him down, and after straightening the boat, everyone climbs back on it. By then, the sharks have reached the boat. One shark almost grabs Mark, but Debulina pulls him up just in time. After this, everyone looks around to see if there are any more sharks, but no one can see anything. Suddenly, a big object hits the boat, and everyone gets scared again. After some time, everything becomes quiet. There is silence all around until their boat is hit again. This time, it is a shark. John falls into the water, and Meg starts screaming. The others immediately pull him back up. John tells everyone, "Sharks are more attracted to noise, so we all need to be quiet." After some time, the water becomes clear, and the sharks leave, but the question remains, how long can they survive? It has been more than 30 hours, and they have neither eaten nor drunk anything. They cannot even drink seawater. On the other hand, the Coast Guard is still trying to locate them. They keep sending ships to the last known location, but these people have drifted far away from it. As time passes, hunger takes its toll. Meg's injury worsens as the infection spreads. Seeing this, John uses his belt to tighten her leg to prevent the infection from spreading further. However, this causes her intense pain, and she screams loudly, attracting the sharks again. Brad notices this. Brad, already on edge, starts to lose his sanity. He snatches the belt from John and throws it into the water to stop Meg from screaming. Enraged, John confronts him. In the chaos, John puts his head into the water, and a shark starts heading toward him. Mark pulls him out just in time. Brad shouts, "You've gone mad. She's already going to die, and to save her, you're risking all of us." Hearing this, everyone gets angry at Brad, but they are too scared to argue further. As night falls, everyone tries to sleep, but John stays awake, sitting there silently. In the morning, he sees what he thinks is an island in the distance. Desperate, he jumps into the water and swims toward it. However, after going some distance, he realizes there is nothing there. It was just an illusion caused by his exhaustion. His friends wake up and notice John is missing. They start shouting, and when John hears them, he begins swimming back to the boat. However, he has gone too far and struggles to return. As he gets closer, a shark appears and pulls him underwater. He manages to escape the first attack and gets close enough for his friends to grab his hand. But just then, another shark pulls him back into the water. This time, only his blood rises to the surface, and everyone understands that John has been killed. Meg is the most affected by his death. The entire boat falls silent, as John was the most knowledgeable about the sea, and now he is gone. Another night passes, and Brad's mental state deteriorates further. He starts drinking seawater despite everyone's warnings. Eventually, Mark calms him down and makes him sit on the boat. However, later that night, Brad starts shouting for no reason. It isn't entirely his fault. Anyone could lose their mental balance in such dire circumstances. Hunger continues to torment them. They consider catching fish to eat, but they don't even know how to do that. Their panic only grows. They sit hopelessly on the boat. Brad suddenly stands up and starts shouting, trying to attract the sharks. He yells, wanting to bring the sharks closer, so they can end their suffering. Meg starts crying, begging him to stop. Everyone tries to calm him down, but he refuses to be quiet. Hearing the noise, 1 or 2 sharks start approaching the boat. At the last moment, Mark manages to subdue Brad and silence him. But here, Brad had calmed down and was lying with his head on the edge of the raft boat. Then, suddenly, a shark came and took him into the water. He started screaming, and everyone tried to catch him, but the same thing happened to him as had happened with John. Brad had been in a hurry to die. That's why he kept jumping on the boat. Now, only 3 people were left. Meg was the most terrified of all these events. She had never imagined she would end up in such a place. She constantly worried about when she would die. At night, she told Debulina, "John and I had planned to get married in a few days. We were going to have children and build a happy family. But everything got destroyed in one moment. I don't even know how long I'll stay alive." Mark tried to comfort her, saying, "Don't worry. Everything will be fine." The night passed, but the next morning, Meg was gone. She had taken her last breath. Debulina and Mark were devastated but knew Meg's end was near. The infection had spread throughout her body, turning her completely white. If they had kept her body with them, it would have started to decompose. So, they decided to let her go into the sea. They did so, and after some time, a shark took her body underwater. At the same time, the Coast Guard sent a message stating that they had thoroughly searched the location but had found nothing, not the boat nor any bodies. They informed the victims' families of the incident. However, they were unaware that 2 people were still alive. Debulina told Mark, "We have to turn the boat upside down because blood has accumulated in it. The smell could attract the sharks again." Mark, though weak, was convinced. She encouraged him, saying, "If you want to stay alive, we have to do this." He agreed because everyone wants to survive. Both of them jumped into the water and turned the boat upside down, mixing the blood with the seawater. However, they quickly needed to straighten the boat again before the sharks arrived. Debulina climbed onto the boat and pulled Mark up. Somehow, they managed to save themselves. At this point, we learned that they had been stranded at sea for more than 131 hours. Remarkably, they had neither eaten nor drunk anything during this time. They endured another night of hunger and thirst. The next morning, a new ray of hope appeared. Mark heard a noise and saw a cargo ship in the distance. He immediately woke Debulina, and they left the boat, swimming toward the ship. The captain of the ship saw them and stopped. The crew threw life jackets into the water. Mark managed to grab one, but Debulina, injured and unable to swim properly, struggled. Mark went back to help her, but a shark approached them. The ship's captain sounded the horn, and the shark fled. Both Mark and Debulina grabbed onto the life jackets. At that moment, we also saw the real state of these 2 survivors. Their lives were saved. At the end, it is revealed that this entire story is based on true events. We are shown photographs and learn that Mark and Debbie Lena were hospitalized for 8 days after their rescue. Debbie Lena later published 3 books about their 20-day survival journey, bringing this incredible story to a close. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.